Hello, my name is Lauren Beasley, and I'm here today to talk to you about community-supported agriculture. Now let's start off with defining a CSA. So what is a CSA exactly? It is a food production farm that produces different products such as vegetables, fruits, and local meat products and eggs and dairy. So it starts off, one of the main components is a consumer or shareholder, as they like to be called, who invests their money into the farm. In return, the producers share the produce with the consumers. So they both share in the risks and rewards. For example, they both share if there's a good, bountiful harvest, but then they both lose if there is a drought that year or different weather conditions that cause a loss of the crop. This in turn bonds the community closer and helps the community to get to see it from the farmer's side and get the farmer get a see of what it's like from the consumer side. So I'm going to give you a little background on CSAs. So the first CSA started in 1986 in Massachusetts on Indian Line Farm, which I believe is still in operation today. Now you may have heard me use the term CSA. People like to use this term because community-supported agriculture could be a little bit of a mouthful to say in every sentence. So we shorten it to CSA. There are currently more than 1,700 CSAs nationwide, and there's different varieties of CSAs that you could have. You could have a mix and match where you could go and pick several fruits or several vegetables or a carton of eggs or whatever you want, and then there's also kinds of facilities where you can go out into the field and pick your own fruits or pick your own vegetables, and whichever produce is to your liking you take home with you. There are also many other different types. Now, CSAs come with advantages for farmers. The first advantage is that marketing becomes easier and more effortlessly arranged. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean that since the consumers are already there and have already invested a certain portion of their money, now the farmers have a ready market for their products and don't have to worry about finding a retailer or a seller to get their products to, and they also don't have to worry about their products spoiling or going out of date or going bad before they get to a consumer and they get their money for them. Another advantage for the farmer is the advance payment option from consumers that helps with farm cash flow. Many farmers find themselves short of cash around the time just before harvest. But in this case, at the beginning of the growing season, the consumer pays the farmer a certain amount of money, and then the farmer is able to help fund and finance their farming activities throughout the season and not have to rely on loans. Third, there's the ability to familiarize with the local community, which in turn helps the farmer and the farm to gain a good reputation. You may have heard the term Eat Local, Buy Local, Shop Local, or Eat Fresh, Buy Fresh campaign. You may have seen it at lots of farmers markets nationwide. Now, this is trying to promote the local agricultural sector better than corporate farms. Don't get me wrong, there's also lots of advantages for consumers. The first of which being fresh, healthy food choices with options such as organic and non-GMO produce and foods. Secondly, there are new food choices and new methods of preparing food in which families can use. Third, there's the farm-to-community interaction and education that a family receives when they go to the farm and get to help produce what they're going to eat. It has also been found, surprisingly, that children favor vegetables more now than in the past because of the association with the farm. Before, if a child just saw a green vegetable plunked down on their plate, they might be disappointed and refuse to eat it. But now, since they can see where the vegetable came from and the fact that they were able to help in the production of it, they're encouraged to eat it because they're proud of what they produced. Also, the consumers get educated about food production and the different methods and sacrifices that farmers have to take when they're producing food. And they also can help create a positive relationship with the agriculture industry. These days, lots of farmers get knocked for a lot of decisions and hard choices they have to make. So if the consumer is there working with the farmer and has to be a part of these tough decisions, They'll start to understand a little more about farmers and a little more about the choices and tough times that come about. Some examples of CSAs. First of all, there's Riverstone Organic Farm, which is just down the road from us here in Blacksburg, down the road in Floyd, Virginia. They produce organic vegetables, lamb, pork, egg products, among others. I'm sure lots of people in Blacksburg like to go get their organic fix down here at Riverstone Farm. Another example of a CSA that I've found is Great Country Farms, which is in Bluemont, Virginia, my hometown. They offer agritourism as well as you pick fruits and produce. As you can tell from the picture, they have lots of educational activities for young children. I personally remember myself going there as a young child on a field trip and getting to learn a lot about agriculture. I was raised on a farm, but I also learned a lot about the food production side, which I never really got to see. So CSAs that offer agritourism and field trips to school children and things like this, not only do the families that are involved with the CSAs get to see what it's like to be on the farm, but also school children from local districts that may not have the chance to be directly involved with the farm just get to experience and get educated on what it's really like, and therefore become educated adults later in life. Now, the main point of this PowerPoint is to explain some environmental benefits of CSAs. The first of these, which is a greater time dedication to land stewardship. Rather than regular farms or commercial farms, it's found that farmers who own CSAs have more time to be able to maintain their land and use proper tilling and soil practices and be able to give more time to the land as it deserves, not necessarily mass production or things like that. And they don't have to worry about, marketing their products because they already have a consumer base, so therefore they have more time to dedicate to land. Also, it's found that travel distances have been shortened, therefore reducing fuel and emissions. This is found because lots of families find local CSAs within an hour of where they live, where before they were having to travel several hours just to get the farm experience. Now, with many more CSAs nationwide, travel distances are shortened to these CSAs and people are finding it easier and more accessible to get to a CSA. Third, nutrient recycling is a big part of CSAs. They are a positive environmental benefit. The use of animal manure onto the crop fields and for fertilizer can help with the recycling of nutrients and be able to put a natural source of nutrients onto the soil. This also helps eliminate chemical application use. So as I mentioned before, people use green manure on their fields rather than having to go out and buy produced chemical applications. And they also use other practices such as crop rotation in order to help benefit the environment. Now, the conclusions that we've come to today is that there's different types of CSAs. You can mix and match, pick your own, etc. There's also options such as farm markets and partnerships. There is a shared risk between the farmers and the producers. For example, if there's a bad season or a weather impediment, not only does the farmer suffer, but the consumer suffers as well. In turn, if there's a good year, the farmer gets a good profit and the consumers get good, healthy food. In either case, both parties are there to help support the other. The main conclusion that we should come to is that education awareness. Producers get a knowledge of the consumers' views of agriculture. Producers also get to educate consumers who may not have grown up on a farm and may not know where their food comes from. Therefore, the view of agriculture is being improved from the media and regulation side, because lots of people, having seen farms and how they really work, are able to go out now and tell the media and tell everyone else the positive things they have experienced and also the environmental benefits, a main point of this PowerPoint, that CSAs are contributing. Thank you for watching my PowerPoint today. I hope you have learned a lot. And here is my list of references. and thank you for listening.